All right, I'm going to show you how to solve polynomial inequalities. So let's say I've got this guy right here. Okay, x to the fifth minus 9x to the third is less than 0. Now, if this was equal to 0, we kind of know how to do this. We factor this out the best we can. Guys, I'm going to give you easy ones here where you should be able to factor them out with no problem. So for a minute, let's just pretend like we were going to do equal to 0. So let's factor this guy out. So this has a greatest common factor of x to the third. Then we've got x squared minus 9. All right. This guy factors out to x plus 3 and x minus 3. All right. So if we were doing 0, okay, equal to 0, then our roots should be 0, negative 3, and positive 3. But that's not what it's asking. It's asking, when is this guy going to be less than? So my encouragement on these problems is either to draw a graph or from the very start, just plug it in a graphing calculator. Okay, I'm going to do it without, but I absolutely encourage you to plug it in a graphing calculator. So we know my roots are at 0, at 3, and at negative 3. Also, we know this is x to the fifth, so we know it's one of these guys, right? It's going to start low, and then it's going to go high. So at negative 3, it should just go straight through. At 0, straight through. And then at 0, it should be a point of inflection. And then 3, it should go straight through. Great, Mr. McClung. Why do we care? Well, remember, this is positive land up here. And this is negative land down here. So we're looking for any place where our function is less than 0. That's a fancy way of saying negative. So let's look over here and see when it's negative. Is it below 0 here? Yes, it is. And now it's positive. And it's negative just for this little bit more. So if I wanted to know when is it negative, it's anything before negative 3 and anything between 0 and 3. So I would say, okay, anything from negative infinity to negative 3, and then the union of anything between 0 and 3. That is where this guy is negative. And again, you could skip all of this, plug it into a graph, and you'd have this right here. Well, let's say instead that it wanted the opposite here. Let's say that it wanted, when is this guy going to be more than 0? When is it going to be positive? Well, we just do the same thing. We just go over here and say, okay, it's positive, it's positive. So it's positive in this little chunk, and it's positive here. So anywhere from negative 3 to 0, and anything from 3 to infinity. You might be asking, well, do I use parentheses? Do I use brackets? It depends on this guy. If we say it can equal 0, then it should be able to equal these numbers. If it doesn't have a parenthesis, or it doesn't say it can equal, then we have to use parentheses whenever we hit these numbers.